Well, hey there team, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to something a little bit different. A bit of Hell Let Loose. I actually play a lot of this off channel. It's sort of my hobby game. My Dota 2 equivalent, if you will. Someone was in one of the Oceanic Hell Let Loose discords, and they were asking about tips and how to be better as a new player. And I thought, you know, why not? I'll put this video out there. This could be a colossal flop, or, you know, people might like to see more of these sort of tips, because I live and breathe this game, especially from a sort of, let's say, tactical, strategic perspective. I play as squad leader and that a lot. Anyway, so what I thought I'd raise is what I think is the most misunderstood and the most fundamental mechanic to Hell Let Loose. It doesn't matter whether you're a squad leader or a rifleman or whatever. Understanding this is the first big step towards actually getting somewhere as far as being competent. Anyone can hit headshots and technically shoot, but understanding how this game ebbs and flows and you win it is important. So everyone thinks that this circle is all that matters. The circle's a trap. The circle is useful in certain situations, but if your answer is that is the capture point for the game, you are sorely mistaken. What it is just a double strength version. The capture sector is the 2x2 grid squares around it. Now, I'm just going to do this live. I'm not going to strat sketch or any of that sort of shit. Again, if people want that in the future, maybe we'll do more videos, but for now, I will just illustrate this in real time, okay? The current active cap is this 2x2 grids. Echo, Foxtrot, 3, and 4. If you've got advanced overlay on, or if you press T or whatever, you can see cap at the top, and I will show you that as soon as I walk over into that grid, as soon as I cross that line, it will start capping because it's an empty server. I'm the only strength, and I put myself in there, and you can see at the top of the screen it says capturing. Right? See how it's ticking up? You can see it there. You come out, you can see it there. Right? Now, if you were to go into the circle, you would be worth 2. Right? You're higher value, but out here you're fine. So what does this mean? Well, hopefully this blows some people's minds, which is a bit tragic because this is how you really win this game. Having sector cap weight is a great way to do it. Because it's 2x2 grid squares, you could go all the way down to here. You could go, well, I can use markers and pings, I suppose, right? You could transverse from here, or traverse, sorry, along the line. You can even do things like this for your squad. Draw little markers, go, hey, go from the defend to the move to the attack marker, skirt the edge. Which is often a very legitimate strategy. And plenty of people without microphones that don't know what they're doing, they're just going to run in the circle and get blown up by artillery. But this is such an important fundamental. I might just finish the cap while I'm standing here talking. I was going to build a Gary. I might see if I can illustrate it right on the edge, actually. Because in the neutral zone, very uniquely, you can't build at the beginning of a match. So if I try to build a garrison with those supplies, the game's going to tell me to blow it out my ring, right? So can't build in neutral territory, but what you can do is you can just go back here on the edge somewhere, and you could build a spawn point with those supplies that I dropped earlier, right? And we'll just run back in. And that's actually a great way to start matches, is get these border Garys right there. And I'm sure if you've played this any length of time, you see a truckload of dudes without microphones just drive straight in from spawn. They drive right past there with squad leaders, supplies, everything, and no one builds a spawn point. They all get blown up and they have to go in from HQ again. So, but that's a little bit off topic. That's a little bit unique to the center starting point, is getting a marker up here, essentially. So you can see I'm sort of capping away. And what then happens is once this flips, this whole area will turn blue. And it's worth noting that sectors are measured in thirds. Now in this map, the map's sort of running from left to right? Like it's horizontal. But sometimes you get vertical maps like Remagen, right? Where the game gets played top to bottom or bottom to top, right? So what's going to happen here, not the best example because these points are right there behind it. But remember, let's just stay with North Pass. Remember 2x2 is what I marked out there. I can mark out with my little markers, right? So the cap sector ends there. Call Trail here, as you could probably see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares, and it divides into thirds, like I said. So the corners of the sector for this, well, let me do more than 3 markers. I'm in squad leader mode. There you go, that'll do. That's the Call Trail sector, right? And so the new active attack sector for us is this one over here, is Hill 15. And as you can guess, they're the corners there. Now, Scarlet, it's unfair. North Pass Circle is further to their side, to the German side. Yes, it is unfair. Boo-hoo. Bad luck. You'll play German one day, but that's just how it is. The circle can appear anywhere within the 4 squares. They are fixed, so the North Pass Circle will always be there. And same as the Hill 15 circle, right? Because these maps aren't procedural or dynamic or anything like that. They're fixed, but they will appear in any case. The North Pass isn't a bad example because that would confuse people. Some people might think, oh, it's these 4 squares or something. No. You have to think in terms of the map in 2x2s. So the first sector is down these 2 columns, then these 2 columns, then the North Pass, and it's always split into 5 strips, right? And then thirds again as well. So Grosshau would be these last 4. So what's interesting as well, just a little tip on the end of it before I finish this up, because I just wanted to do this as a quick video and put it out there and see if it helps people, because that's ultimately, like I said, this is not my normal lane that I usually do content in. But if you were, hypothetically, attacking from Call Trail to North Pass or defending, an interesting vector is to go from here to here. We can talk about this in another video if people are interested. I call it feathering, right? I make up my own fucking terms because I make up my own strategies. But the idea is if you can get a squad of 6 blokes, and depending on if it's touch and go, North Pass Call Trail, if you can control this corner and you can get the guys on the right page, you can just hop back and forth between this diagonal and you can potentially control the sector of Call Trail and North Pass. You can do the same here, but the diagonal is always interesting to sort of illustrate. Yeah. Similar to what you were sort of seeing when I jumped in before and I just put my toe over the line and just one person, well, you know, it's only me in the server, but one person was enough to start tipping the sector, right? So if you think like that, what you can do, and there are times when playing for the strong point or flanking or doing an all-out smoke offensive under artillery, there's a lot of reasons to do that, but something that a lot of people don't do, which you could do, I mean, I don't know, maybe have a look at these trenches here. You could probably get your boys to set up on the trench here. You could set up a Gary or maybe an OP or something like that there. And you can fight probably, you know, under slight cover of this wire here. Oh, truck's not looking good. That thing's gonna blow up. I might stay away from it. But you could potentially just fight over this line and control this tiny little bit of space. And before you know it, you might start slipping Hill 15. You're putting actually a lot of pressure on the edge of the sector if you can just control these little in points. Anyway, again, I'm getting a little bit off topic. The main takeaway, if you're a level 1 rifleman, is that the 2x2 sector is where the games are won. If you're down here, you are useless to your team, especially in a pub match. Maybe comp might be an exception, whatever, right? If you put a spawn point down here, the bunch of the people on your team that don't know any better will spawn down there or over here or something, and they will wreck it for you because they're now no longer defending or attacking, and if the enemy team's smart, they will just walk in. So live in the sectors as much as you can, at least while you're trying to figure out how to play this game and you're learning your footing. That is where your cap weight, your body weight, your little flesh sack is most important. When you're sitting down in the bushes and you're not pulling the trigger, be in one of these sectors, and I guarantee you will actually start making a change to the game. Anyway, just thought I'd waffle on there a little bit. If you find this helpful, let me know. Maybe you're new to the channel, you don't give a shit about my indie game coverage or anything like that. I would be happy to put out more of these little tidbit info videos to help the community. There's a million different things, there's all sorts of stuff, you know, I've talked about the third column Gary, so if you see the Gary we built there, that's very different from if you belt a Gary 10 feet across into that column. There's so many different strategies. There's squad leader stuff, there's mode stuff between offense and warfare. I do a lot of tanking and that as well, so identifying a lot of the audio is a huge part of the game. So again, this might be a one and done, and that's fine. And if your takeaway is that you learned how to control sectors properly, that's good, because that's the most important thing about Hell Let Loose. If not, well, so it goes. Anyway, let me know if you want to see some more team, otherwise we might just leave it there for the time being, and I will catch you guys on the next one.